All right, and they're both off.
Immediate Fire Rod in Link's house and Magic Powder in Sanctuary. That's a pretty interesting start.
Yeah, especially with that Fire Rod, we could end up with a Mothula at any time. So a Fire Rod will certainly be helpful there.
Mothlia is usually a little bit easier in Randomizer because we see Green Pendant in Desert Palace, Blue Pendant in Tower of Hera, and Red Crystal in Eastern Palace. So an interesting light world. Like I was saying, Mothla is usually a little bit easier in Randomizer because it doesn't have the spikes to worry about in all the different boss rooms. And I believe they also turn off the conveyor belt in the regular Skullwoods in case it's a different boss. So I wouldn't worry too much about Mothula.
All right, the Lumberjack Cave only holding 20 rupees.
Yeah, so we're not going to see Egawon, at least for that item.
Oh, and there's our Magic Cape.
And nice 300 rupees in the drop down. So they're pretty good on money. They're pretty good on safeties, and they've at least got a weapon with magic. So they should be off to a relatively decent start.
And thalane saving quitting out. Looks like he's probably gonna maybe do a South Shore run.
That'd be. Go ahead.
Oh no, it looks like he's going just taking the southern way to Kakariko.
Yeah, it's a bit easier to farm bombs that way, although with money they could easily just buy bombs, but he's probably wanting to save some money, but right now thinking maybe Zora later or the bottle vendor. Which we saw a bottle vendor just return 50 rupees. So a little bit of a money sink, but not too much.
Just that random fish flopping around.
That's pretty handy, especially if it's in Kakariko. He could easily return that to the bottle vendor for some items. And the book and race game, they're really throwing some items at them. Not anything terribly useful at the moment, but some interesting items.
That red guard has it out for our runner here.
Yeah, and it looks like Argyle is taking the fish to the bottle vendor. It's a pretty good plan. Gives him some interesting items to start off.
Oh, there's his bombs.
Bombs, full magic, a little bit more money, some arrows. So it's a pretty handy thing to do if there's a fish in the nearby. And unfortunately, thalane found a guard in the bushes. To answer chat, Fire Rod was in Link's house, Cape was in the visual item in Lost Woods, and Powder was in Sanctuary.
A fairly loaded start, but nothing in particular that provides progression, except for maybe the book.
Book allows Desert Palace for sure. Flippers gives them Waterfall Fairy and Zora area unlock. Shovel is a nice fetch quest. It just allows, especially with those flippers, allows better South Shore access. Gives them a bit more options to check.
It's a fairly tame chicken hut.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed on that, but they at least get a sword out of it.
Nothing more fun than going to that room with 4 red guards staring down you.
I think the worst thing I've seen in Randomizer was Dark Rolled Hammer Peg area was just full of rollers, all going in different directions. So trying to do the hammer pegs with the rollers in the way made for a very difficult thing to do. And it only had 5 rupees at the time, I think.
And Argel gets his book.
So I think Argel's going to go and walk over to the dig spot, check what the shovel had in there, which isn't a bad play. And just a heart container. Not terribly important, but with this little hearts, it's not a bad thing to get this early. And then probably going to now do a south short access. And I'm wrong. Looks like he's going up to the castle. Maybe to do escape and uncle.
I'd say it's a pretty solid play. He has a sword.
And we're getting a just over 7-minute pedestal check. Just couch cast.
Typical pedestal.
Yeah, but at least Thalane knows this early. That's not a bad play, especially since he had the book.
He does know that he can dip. You can just nope out of pendant dungeons if he's forced to go into any of them.
Yeah, the only one he might do, unless he gets a hint later on that tells him otherwise, is to finish off Desert when he gets a chance, just for the green pendant. But otherwise, yeah, he wouldn't need to do anything once he gets all the items. So what Saga item are we going to get today? Just some heart pieces.
I doubt he'll spend the 5 seconds going for it.
This early, maybe.
Oh yeah, all right.
And it was an upgrade for him, so it was worth it. Let's see how bad Mini Molderum Cave is going to be. That's a little bit annoying. Just shadow enemies. And it makes quick work of them. I wouldn't have actually thought of the fire rod. I probably would have tried sword spins.
Speaking of swords, there's our second sword.
And silvers.
It's a nice find.
It's nice, not useful right now. Depends how long the bow is going to take to find. Ooh, and a Lionel down in the jail area. But at least the enemy that had the key is pretty easy.
More Lionels.
Yeah, so nothing in normal escape. Looks like Argel's doing South Shore as well. And just heart pieces for rescuing, heart refills for rescuing the fish. So probably not going to do that anymore.
Explosives.
So Celsura was pretty unimportant. Based on walking out of his list, it looks like Thalane's going to do the flipper stuff, so probably check Hobo, see what's on the island, and then probably go up to Waterfall. Hope get some rupees to get Zora and whatever's on the ledge at the same time. Well, that's an annoying place for that enemy, right on the water.
They learned how to water walk.
Another heart container is not bad find at this time of it. Brings him up to 5 hearts. With the randomizer, that's not a bad thing to have hearts this early.
We just kind of like lost the music on Thalane's side. It's kind of creepy.
We saw 10 arrows on the island. Again, not an item they're going to go hunting for. Gets at least that location out of the way. 50 rupees and some bombs and waterfall ferry. Not super helpful, but hopefully Thalane can get the rest of the rupees while he's up here, so he doesn't have to come back to check Zora.
There was 20 of it, but yeah, he decides to nope out.
It makes sense. You could technically farm rupees there, but that takes a long time. You're not sure it's actually going to be worth it for the item, so you just in the back of your mind know that Zora is an outstanding item. Looks like Argel's doing the same thing, so he'll have money for Zora. We can at least find out what it is when he goes.
So while our runners retrace their steps, just to kind of recap, so the settings for this game are Ganon goal, as pictured by Ganon at the top of your screen. The second icon means open state, which is the Link sprite. The third image means randomized swords. The fourth one, the N, is for normal difficulty, and the fifth one, the fifth icon is for Randomizer. It's the pot crab.
Yeah, so here's a question. Where do you think, well, 2 questions. Where do you think the next progression item is going to be? And what do you think the progression item is going to be?
That's a good question. We still haven't seen Sahashila's Closet, and they may dip Eastern.
Yeah, if they go up in that area, Eastern's not a bad play, especially if they haven't found any actual progression at that point. But there is still desert area with the ledge that they can grab, Agina's Cave. They can get at least 1 item in Desert Palace, maybe more, depending on what the item is. Usually people don't like going to this desert area. It's a long walk, but there is more items with the book that might make it worthwhile for them.
We'll just have to see if Desert is boots locked.
These are some pretty nasty enemies to have right on the way to Zora. Thief, Mimic, that leg fish, balloon, whatever. And Zora has the lamp.
Oh. That makes Eastern clearable as long as it's not bow locked.
Yeah, well, the Eastern's not gonna be bow locked unless the enemy itself is Argus. Because with Randomizer, they don't put the red mimics in there anymore. Or sorry, the red Igors. So that makes Eastern a bit more of an option, or a bit more attractive of an option for them. But Lamp also could technically mean Aga 1 is in play. And just a Fisher Price shield.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Eastern has in store for us.
So thalane looks like seems like a player that is comfortable with Dark Room, so I don't think he'll care that he hasn't found Lamp. He'll still do these rooms anyways.
Yeah, Randomizer dark rooms can be something else though. Really depends on what spawns.
That's true.
Like you
Ooh,
get
chain chop.
chops.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just ugly.
Yeah, get one of those in that dark room and then it becomes much more interesting.
Well, especially Green Mill 5 hearts. Although they do have the cape, so as long as they find the enemy they have to kill, they could get through it pretty easily. Lamp was on Zora.
Alright, so we found the big key. And that red Igor in a bad spot.
Yeah, finding the big key is not a terrible thing. I mean, they'll likely get all the chests anyways. This is a crystal, so they'll see what the boss is, and if they can clear it, they'll just do it while they're here. Then again, if they had found the 3 items before the last chest, the normal big key chest, they wouldn't have gone there. But with compass, big key, and map, it's for sure going to be an item pack there. With a joke hint.
Spring balls at Ridley. A Super Metroid randomizer reference.
Early Ice and Fire Rod. I wonder how many Trinexes we're going to find. Or if that's just going to be a troll.
I don't know, but at least our runners will probably feel a lot better, at least not having to go find the ice rod if that does happen. It's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I mean, at least they'll know that if they do find a Trinex, they'll be able to fight it. But with not half magic and just a Master Sword, it's going to be pretty difficult to deal with the magic of that. And with Argel's lamp, we can see a bit more of the room and see what kind of enemies are here.
No, thalane. Randomizer dark rooms can be brutal.
Okay, so he's going to go get his heart container from Shovel. That's interesting. Argel's just leaving. I guess he doesn't want to see what the boss is right off the bat.
We did see all 3 items.
No, we only saw 2 items.
Did we?
Because first chest was compass, second chest was big key, third chest was map. There is an item on the boss.
Maybe he doesn't realize that a red Igor doesn't spawn there, or most likely won't spawn there.
Could be.
Yeah.
Although with him picking the mode, I would have thought he might know Randomizer a bit more, or maybe he's just hoping for a more even seed that he can gamble on. Ooh, the bush crabs have full magic. That's a pretty good find.
So this cave has 20 rupees.
Yeah, nothing terribly good. So where else can they find ledge item? At least one chest in desert. With the lamp, they can do back of escape in the dark room there, but they're running out of locations to find or to search.
We gotta look at the ledge. It was a cart container.
And we'll find out very shortly whether this is boost lock or not.
All right. Well, there's a piece of our dark world access.
A piece, but now we know Desert Palace is boots lock. And the only item that really unlocked is Sanctuary Cave. I mean, I guess easier access to Pack of Escape, but they can still go through the normal way with the lamp.
And I think that's where he is going right now.
Flynn deciding to grab the heart container, wants a little bit more safety. Ooh, hookshot. Okay, that's a really good find. That enables east side Death Mountain. Another 8 items there. Oh, that's an evil area.
Oh, and Argel takes a death.
Yeah, dark areas and escape is right now is pretty evil in the enemies that spawned. And thalane not even gonna bother, just gonna, I figure with the hookshot, just gonna go right up to Death Mountain. Or not, looks like he's gonna go get the Zora item just to make sure before doing anything else. Wanting to make sure that's nothing that he needs.
He will be pretty glad that he did, though.
It depends. Like,
Yeah.
I think he'd be pretty confident with his dark room, so it's not really an item he absolutely needs. I mean, it's nice to know in terms of the logic that going to Zora meant anything now dark room is in logic.
Picks up a convenient magic drop.
Let's see how bad this dark old man cave is. With the red guard there, this would have been difficult with no lamp. Ooh, Beamos and a couple other pretty nasty enemies. Yeah, this might have been difficult with no lamp.
And even worse, you could end up in a once the old man starts following you, the save and quit point is right where that old man was inside the cave. So you could end up in a scenario where you're stuck if you keep dying without the lamp.
Okay, good. Looks like Argel's gonna check Spectacle Rock first. It makes sense. He can then just drop down and hookshot over to east side. And doing the popular thing now that hints are out, not even bothering to check what the item is, just going in knowing that they're probably going to look at the hint anyways, so can just get the item while he's here. And finding that purple chest is not going to be useful in this seed.
So right now, we're still pretty far away from Dark World access, so this better have something.
Yeah, we'll need Hammer and Moon Pearl, or second lift upgrade and Moon Pearl. But there's still 8 items here. There should be something good. I saw Bug Net. That's not terribly good, but if you have bottles and you need fairies, it's not a bad thing to have. There's the boost.
Tempered sword. So, back to desert.
Well, let's see if Spiral Cave has anything
Yeah.
more useful first, but then yeah, it looks like back to desert. So if I'm correct, they've got 3 more chest locations. Spiral Cave, 2 items. Sorry, 4. 2 items in. No, 1 item in desert and 1 of my item in eastern left that they can get with no other progression.
That sounds right, yeah. Plus, Bonk Rocks.
Oh yeah, I forgot Bonk Rocks now that they have boots, but they're starting to run out of ideas, so Aga 1 is still in play.
I'd say the Ego 1 factor is pretty high. We'll see what comes up here in a few minutes.
They can't get King's Tomb without the mitts or mirror yet.
Oh, that's unfortunate. The grabs the fairy but dies anyway. It sucks.
And Spiral Cave just had the fetch quest mushroom. So hopefully that's not anything good, otherwise Thalane's going to leave that up. Ooh, okay, that's not good for a thalane.
Yeah, that's gonna be a while before he goes back to Death Mountain.
I mean, he'll eventually, but if he doesn't get that and decides to do AGA 1 if he doesn't need to, that might be pretty big. I don't think Argyle did. Oh no, he did go through this. This was just bombs, I think. Oh, 20 rupee, yeah. So they're still looking for the moon pull for full Dark World access. But Desert Palace is not a bad play. Still one item he can get. Once he finds the item, unless he wants the green pendant, he can then just skip out of here. With Fire Rod and Ice Rod, he can clear Landmill pretty quickly too.
So Argle's gonna claim the big key. Now it's gonna lead to the small key in the big key chest. Or the big chest.
Yep, and then it just depends on what's on the right side. Whether there's the item in there or the item is on the boss.
Yeah, for Argle, Magic Battle so opens up.
Yep, with the hammer, that's also not a bad location. It's kind of a one-off. It's a bit of a walk just for one item. It looks like Thalane's going to try the boss first instead of right side, which turns out to be a good play since map and compass were on right side.
And that was an intentional death to warp back to the entrance.
So what do we think the... Oh, I forgot. This is not actually Landmo, so... What do we think the enemy actually is going to be?
Oh, to be honest, I mean, we could still get Lambo.
We could, but it's more interesting to think it's going to be something else.
I'm not very imaginative. Well, I mean, they got the equipment for a Trinex.
Yeah, and with Tempered Sword, it's going to be a bit easier of a fight. I'm going to guess blind just for fun. Nope, Trinex it is. There's one sighting.
I think it's going to be the Knight of Trinex.
It wouldn't be bad. They had the items early, so I don't think they would complain. It's not a terribly bad fight. They can kill it pretty easily with the Tempered Sword. Except this small of a room, well, it feels like a small room that not a lot of room to maneuver.
So there's Trinex #1 for tonight. Maybe you want to take a guess at how many more we'll probably see?
I'm going to say 3 total.
I mean, that sounds pretty solid. Watch your magic.
So it looks like he's going to turn in the green pendant. I wonder if he's going to finish Eastern while he's here as well. Now that he has the lamp. Progression on an old man, not bad. So that's Dark World once Argyle turns it in, but Thalane still needs that hammer from... Well, he needs the mushroom from Speller Cave to get the hammer from the witch.
So really this boils down to when is Thalane going to go back to Spiral Cave?
I wonder if he does, and maybe he just thinks once he gets to a certain point, I'll just do Aga instead of going all the way back out to the mountain. Which wouldn't be terrible, but it's obviously... He will have to go back eventually. And Argyle's on his way right over to that same area, so he's going to get his Moon Pearl. Probably immediately go into Dark World right after. Unless he decides to actually clear Eastern Palace this time.
It was like he's saving quitted out.
And when starting here, it's probably a safe bet he's going to go to Hype Cave to start. Thalane forgot he had the key already.
I mean, how many times do you actually grab the key and then die in here? So
That's true.
it's totally understandable.
And Skullwoods is the other 5/6, with Swamp Palace being the last pendant. So we'll need to know what eventually the Turtle Rock and Misery Mire pendants medallions are. Ooh, Mitts in Hype Cave. That's pretty hype.
That also means that they're not going to be able to be available to Thalane unless he takes the long way around. Because he won't have the hammer to go down south. He'll have to go counterclockwise around Hyrule to get to that.
Assuming he does Aga 1 before he goes to get the mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
Edmure in King's Tomb. That's just one great item after another. And vanilla Eastern Palace boss. So it's not going to be terribly fast, but at least it's possible with the sword. And with the boots, Argyle's was basically checking what the Lumberjack Ledge has. I see a lot of runners do that. Don't bother checking until they have the mitts. Sorry, the boots. And our first crystal at 40 minutes. So if you're Thalane, where do you go now? Do you go back up the mountain, or do you do Aga?
He thought about it for a second. This is probably Aga.
Yeah, it looks like it. So with Mirror locked behind the mitts, it's going to take a while for Thalane to get the mitts. It's going to take him a while to get the mirror, which means it's going to take a while for him to get to Spiral Cave again. That's essentially now an orphan location.
Yeah, because the mints would be your incentive to go back up there.
And with the mitts and mirror, you realize you could do, okay, while I'm in Dark World, I can just mirror to Light World and clear up that location while you're there.
Indeed.
But with Hammer and Mirror locked, he can't even go. He can't even make the excuse to go up to Hera to do that. If we didn't see it on Argal's side, Thalane checked Lumberjack. It was just 20 rupees. Yeah, as chat pointed out, a Spiral Cave had the mushroom, which had the hammer. Unique item is in plain sight. Thanks, game.
So, one thing that could save the lane is if he gets hinted at the hammer. Or hinted the Spiral Cave.
That's true. But I'm not sure what hint could lead to that.
Unique item is in Spiral Cave. I think that's a hint.
Yeah, Spiral Cave is a hint. So, I mean, but the thing is, if it says unique item, that's not too much of a hint because that could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
Unless it directly says hammer, he's not going up there just for that. He's still going to have to find a way up. And there's Trinex number 2 in Blind's room.
Yeah, and even if it said the item, it would say mushroom, very likely.
Yeah, that's true. So he wouldn't know mushroom is hammer. And then also, who's to say once he gets the mushroom in Spiral Cave, he's going to go turn it in right away. That hammer, I think, is going to be a long time coming.
So, Trinex number 2 is dead. Argal picks up 300 rupees and his first crystal.
So I think I missed it. I think Argyle just went directly to the boss. Didn't do anything after the first 4 chests.
Yeah.
The fact that he's going back in, that looks like what the play was. Which in Randomizer is not necessarily a bad thing. You can essentially then just mirror out once you're done checking, once you get the rest of the items.
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, in Randomizer, the boss is already spawned. You don't have to rescue the maiden.
So maybe this is exactly what Argyle was hoping for in this kind of seed. Just items all over the place and untimely deaths for forcing items to be left alone.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't get to see that hint, unfortunately. But yeah, this is a pretty solid situation for Argyle right now.
So what we know Argyle needs is flute, at least one medallion, and red cane for sure, and possibly the bow, depending on. No, he'll need the bow because Palace of Darkness is still bow locked. So he's coming up pretty close to go mode.
Yes, it doesn't have the hammer. The only way to get to this other side of Dark World is to use a hook shot to go across the river.
Yeah, he's in for the long spiral. He'll do everything going around in a spiral before finally doing Hype Cube to get the mitts. At the very least, he'll be able to clear Thieves Town while he's in the area. He'll probably maybe even clear Skull Woods. And after the second death, Argyle says no more of Thieves Town.
There's our first bottle. We'll get to see what Sit Kid has.
It's a good place to find it. Can immediately mirror in and check it. Just a heart piece. So it looks like Argyle's going to do the digging game. I wonder if he's going to then go back up and at least turn in the blacksmith. Might as well while he's in the area. And we could also see how bad the hammer peg area is.
Yeah, the hammer peg area can be from tame to insane.
And just 20 rupees of the dig game.
So will Skullwoods have our try next number 3?
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's a good call conserving magic.
Yeah, especially if it is Trinex, you want that magic.
So Thalane waited for the Wallmaster to come down before diving in the pit, because there is a glitch where... Oh, we have a line, by the way. So the Wallmaster can grab you while you're falling down, which is why you waited.
This is a horrible room for a blind fight. Even though the spikes aren't moving, it really affects your script. But if he really needs to, he can easily use the cape.
But he's good. So did Argel, did he get the hint about the purple chest?
He must have, because I'm pretty sure that was in Spectacle Rock. I guess he just forgot or doesn't know what the specialist is.
It is pretty easy to forget about your hints. So, yeah, it's totally understandable.
So far, nothing of importance in Skull Woods, but at least it finished the boss.
So he did leave the chest behind, so he may have then remembered.
That's good then. Coming up this way to check Bombo's tablet. So although Thalane doesn't have the hammer or the mirror, he does have the crystals needed for the big bomb.
But, so how would he get it there, though?
Well, that's the thing. He can't yet, but at least he knows he has that for when he picks up what he needs. I wonder if once he gets the mitts and he finds the mirror, maybe that also incentivizes him to go and drop off the bomb, because with the mirror he can at least walk up north of the area, mirror, and then go through the gate to transition to Dark World from there, because he defeated Aga 1.
Yeah, it does make sense. Thanks, game. Arrows in the Sage's Closet.
So this is an interesting play. Although you can basically finish Swamp Palace, it's a pendant. Yes, it has a lot of items, but I'm not sure if it was worth it to come in here before doing anything else.
I mean, he may think he's behind right now. He doesn't know that Thalane hasn't found the hammer. So
True.
he might be making a gamble.
Yeah, and he did find the sandcart, so at least we know where that is.
We'll just have to see if this gamble pays off.
It looks like Thalane's not going to do the boss right away. He wants to see what other items are in here first. Or realizing he's on low health. If he dies, he can easily go back there faster. But otherwise, see what else is here first. Ooh, I missed it. Can of Samaria in Swamp Palace.
So, all right, looks like this gamble did pay.
Yeah, I would have needed to come down here anyways. And just bombs in Swamp Palace. Oh, Bombos in Swamp. I missed that part. Okay, so maybe that's probably why he's here then. If he saw Bombos in Swamp, he wants to get that. Just happens to find Red Can at the same time.
Yeah, he did read that hint. We just missed it because of technical things, but yeah, that would totally make sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense why he's here. Realizing he'll probably need that medallion for for either Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, so might as well come in here, get it now.
Yeah, that room is no joke. And Argel is gonna hammer it out with Helmasaur King.
So that'll be interesting if Thalane goes there before he actually gets the hammer.
He wouldn't be able to get too far into Swamp, at least.
No, he can complete it. Oh no, sorry, yeah, because he doesn't have the hammer to get into to do much in Swamp. That's right.
There'd be like one chest that's available to him right now.
Which I believe is Sandcart.
So he must have gotten all the items because he's skipping the west side. I mean, so it looks like he's gonna go to Dark Death Mountain, which I totally agree with at this point.
No, I don't think he got all the items in Swamp. He got the big key in the back of Swamp. I don't think he went back to the big chest. So there's 3 items there with 2 dungeon items left. But it's probably a case where he just doesn't want to hunt through there. He'll take his chances for now, somewhere else.
I mean, he did go in there and he found what the hint was. And he found another good piece of progression. He may think that the rest of it's junk.
Which is entirely possible. I mean, I don't disagree with that. But I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure he didn't actually get all the items. So there could still be something useful there.
Look at those red rupees. Digging game's a payday.
Flute and Super Bunny, that's a pretty good find.
Yeah, Argel's really working with the hints this seed has thrown at it.
And with Turtle Rock being Bombos, he can basically full clear that as well. Yeah, that one death on Spiral, just in Spiral Cave, locking out the hammer, I think is what has so far been the worst thing for Thalane.
Thalane's gonna finally find his Titan's mitts.
Yeah, so where does this lead him then?
So we did get hinted at the west side of Swamp.
Map and Piece of Heart.
The big chest could then still have something.
Yeah, I don't remember if he got the compass or not.
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'll say that I'm thinking Thalane will probably find that mushroom now.
Yeah, the question is whether he actually turns it in right away or not. If he does, that's really great for him. I mean, even without the hammer, he has been completing dungeons and progressing, so it's not like he's been sitting idle. Chat's pointing out the compass was in waterfall chest, so there is still an item in the big chest. This room is so much easier without the chain chomps.
Surprise, Wallmaster. Well, it's one of those things with the Randomizer, right? That a Wallmaster, you don't know where Wallmasters are going to show up. So you could easily get caught off guard.
Yeah, that's the fun thing with Randomizer, though, is the surprise wall masters. So with no hammer, even if he doesn't even have the bomb boast to open it, but looks like he's going to be checking Hookshot Cave, and then he's done on Death Mountain. This is an evil Hookshot Cave already.
That BMOS placement. That's just not fair.
All that for the blue boomerang. So it looks like he's gonna get his mirror now, and then he's probably gonna go over to the village to activate the flute.
That Mimic Cave could have been worse.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. That one enemy, though, hiding from the bombos. Yeah, so with the mushroom fresh on his mind, turning in the flute, it seems like a reasonable play that he's going to go turn in the mushroom for the hammer. Well, that's a nice half magic.
About the time you'd want it.
And that was a good placement for the anti-fairy. Sometimes Randomizer can be nice.
Alright. And now Thalane is going to get his hammer. So this is really good for him now. So he'll be able to get back on the path.
He hasn't lost much time. I wonder where he's going to prioritize first, though. Interesting, Ice Palace. It does make a little bit of sense. There's 3 hints here. He has to complete it anyways.
So I missed a couple of the items that are on Laser Bridge, but it didn't look like it was anything that we needed.
Yeah, I didn't see anything needed there.
I mean, so right now what we're missing for Go mode, we still need the bow. That's a hard requirement for Pod. And we still need to find... If Misery Mire is Bombos, then we're good. Otherwise, we're still looking for a medallion.
Yeah, that's correct.
There's a surprise gold stare.
It's not a bad placement for Cold Stare. So far, only 1 vanilla boss. Argon making quick work of Cold Stare, though. With no ice physics, this makes it a little bit easier. Actually, I don't remember if that room actually had ice physics.
I don't think it does.
Oh, no, I don't think it does, but Buttersword is not a bad find.
A bottle's above the pose. Thanks, game.
Well, I don't think thalane... Oh no, thalane has a bottle.
He checked Sick Kid.
Yeah, but I forgot that there's the bottle in the Village of Outcasts, but that's just for a second bottle. Which thalane's probably not going to get.
Now Argel gets to navigate this really nice hook shot room.
Chat was saying Bo was on Laser Bridge?
Oh, it was? Yeah, we must have missed it then.
Yeah, Skydream in chat is saying it was in his inventory when he was switching, so that seemed to be the only location that was hiccuping for us. So it looks like all we're missing is whatever medallion is needed for Meyer, if it's not Bombos.
I have a feeling he's gonna check that really fast here.
Activate his flute and then go check there. I think that's what a lot of runners do, is once that's the last item that they possibly need for Go mode, they'll quickly check what the requirement is, just to see if they are in Go mode or what item they're looking for. Yep, and there it is on the screen. So yeah, Argyle definitely has bow. Well, if it's Quake that he needs, we know it's an Ice Palace. Yep, looks like right over to Meyer. Bombos, he's in Go mode.
Alright, at 1 hour, 9 minutes, 56 seconds, Argyle is in Go mode.
So then we know that Thalane just needs to go to Swamp to pick up his Bombos and Red Cane, and then go to Turtle Rock, which is where we believe the bow was, and he'll also be in go mode. So ice wasn't a bad place to check. He needed to get it done anyways, but if he had come here with the bow, it would have been much faster. Mostly for being able to skip a lot of the chests, and then for this boss specifically. Several arrows for this, so fast.
I mean, Bombo's cleaned up that room really nice, except I think he missed something. There we go. So we've had 2 Trinexes and 2 Armos Knights.
Not a bad layout so far.
I mean, Argel's going to be able to go mode Ice Palace, though.
Looks like Thalane's also going to check what the medallion requirement is. This is not a bad play. He'll see all he needs is Bombos. That might urge him over to Swamp to pick that up. Yeah, Tenber's asking, what if he leaves Swamp too early after only picking up 1? Based on where the items were, Swamp had Red Cane really early before Bombos, so the likelihood of him skipping 1 is not very likely. He's going to get both. Whether he continues to check after picking up Bombos is another matter. We know there's nothing else in there. But with that hammer, he's coming back to check to see what's in Thieves Town.
Yeah. Based on where Argel is right now, looks like he did find the big key for Meyer.
So of the dungeons that Argel has left, the longest one that will take after Misery Mire, I think, is Palace of Darkness. He already has the needed big key for Eastern Palace. Skullwood should be basically just run to the back, and Ice Palace is very easy to speed clear. So Argel is looking in a good place right now. Not a terrible find, red mail in the jail cell.
There's our prized Ether medallion. We're not not useful to us in this seed.
Nope. Thalane has all medallions except for the one he needs. At least he knows that once he gets Bombos from Swamp Palace, he'll be good to go for Tilda Rock.
I know he saw that hint for Bombos. I'm wondering if he forgot about it.
He realizes he also needs a couple other items, so he's probably checking for those as well along the way. No sense going straight over to Swamp just for Bombos if he doesn't have the red cane or the bow. So he's looking for those along the way.
Fair enough.
At this rate, he'll have all items but the blue cane. Ooh, that's an ugly room in pod.
It looks like that chest was a small key. So,
Yep, so he's going up to the big key chest, see what's in there. Looks like the lane's gonna do this south area, and then probably go into swamp after that. Looks like just 3 of the same easy enemies for what would have been the bow locked room. Pod was pretty nice for them so far for that room, at least. And it looks like the big key is in the back. It's a little bit more digging in pod to do. Yep, Thalane's going right into swamp, so he should get his red cane and bombos pretty soon. Meanwhile, Argyle's still slowly going through Palace of Darkness, looking for that big key.
I got a frame of that. That must have been a piece of heart.
And there's the big key. Immediately goes right out. He has the small key that he needs. Hopefully he doesn't use it here. And he does by accident. So hopefully a small key is here, otherwise he has to keep looking. Okay, there it is.
He got bailed out. Oh no.
Untimely death, but it's not a terrible thing.
Yeah. He'll have fast access back to where he was at. Probably actually works out better. The rollers kind of complicate things.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, it's bad, but it could have been worse.
Kind of have to coax that red Igor out of the way. So to recap, for those who are just joining, the main two differences between our two runners in this race was that Thalane found the hammer much later because it was behind Mushroom, and Mushroom was in Spiral Cave, which he had skipped earlier when he had died. So that kind of really significantly changed each player's routing. We have a vanilla Helmasaur King.
I believe this is the second Helmholtzer we've had this round.
Yep, because the lane is fighting the first one. So yeah, Argel is gonna mirror right over to Eastern, and probably gonna realize he probably could have done this earlier.
Probably, but it saves him time doing it now because he has the bow and arrow. Bow and silver is even more so.
It's probably just a net neutral at best, probably. I mean, Eastern Palace is deceptively large.
Yeah, but either way, he would have had to walk back after the death anyways. So the same amount of time to get back to the boss, but a faster boss fight. And it looks like Thalane's going right into Rock with his Bombos and Red Cane, which we know he'll find the bow up here, so he'll be shortly in go mode.
Yeah, there was a Lionel in that dark room, so that would have been kind of nasty to do without the lamp.
No, Argel had the lamp right from as soon as he was in Eastern Palace. It was Thalane that didn't get the lamp at first.
Mm-hmm.
And Argel making quick work of the Armos Knights with the silver arrows. So we'll have that fight one more time, at least through the regular dungeons. So Argal just has Skullwoods with Blind in it, and Ice Palace with, I believe, his Armos Knights in there. And it looks like he's gonna go to Skullwoods first.
Yeah, right now this is really Argyle's race to lose. He's in a very good lead right now. It's not over yet. Yeah, and that same glitch that allows the wall master to grab you mid-fall also allows you to take damage mid-fall, which Argyle found out with that guard. Took a few pokes from there. Yeah. Having blind at the top of this room here is not really all that fun. Yeah, it throws off the script quite a bit, and the conveyor belt doesn't help with the some Mario strats either. I think the best plan would have been Cape, which it looks like that's what he switched to right now anyways. Half magic is not that bad. And just grab onto the wall to conserve the magic. Skullwood's down, just Ice Palace left for the crystals, and then Argyle's up to Ganon's tower. Pretty respectable time, all things considering. This Ice Palace is going to be fast. Don't blink. Yeah, with not having to find any keys in chests, not even the big key, he can just bomb jump and run right to the boss. And the boss, with it being Armos Knights, should be pretty simple as well. I missed how annoying this room was the first time. Oh, that BMOS is not helping at all. Not at all. There's been a few of those in here. Now, this Turtle Rock Dark Room is actually, that's pretty tame. I've seen way worse in there.
And there's the bow. So with that, Thalane's in go mode. He realizes that immediately and just ignores the last chest. So Thalane's not too far behind. He'll defeat the boss and Turtle Rock here pretty quickly. He'll just have Meyer and Pod. Unfortunately, the keys in both of those are not in quick locations. That'll take him a bit of time.
It's a pretty good cold stare kill.
Yeah, it did a little bit better than Argal did. So he saves a bit of time in that aspect. That's an evil room in Ice Palace as well.
Yeah, I think he's an opt for Samaria here. It's probably better.
Yeah, pretty safe play. Realizing it's Armos Knights, can just do silver arrows. Very quick kill. And Argal has all his crystals.
So, it's that time of the evening, right, where we played Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game. So, everybody get your guesses in chat here. If you are a subscriber to any speed gaming channel or have donated a cumulative total of 250 bits to any of those channels, you are eligible for our leaderboard. Regardless, though, everybody is welcome to play, so get your numbers in.
What number do you usually pick for this?
Well, I won once doing 18, and it ended up being Bob's chest because of some interesting routing. This time around, I went with the 6. How about you?
I think 7. 7's usually a good number.
All right, you all have about 1 minute to get your guesses in. All right, you have about 15 more seconds.
Thalane finding the big key, so he'll be on to, I believe it was Ladmo in here. Not a terribly hard fight, but I believe I think the goo is still active for damage.
That is correct.
So yeah, he'll be limited to specific part of the screen for that fight.
All right, so Saint, is that Saint Cart?
No, Sankart was the first chest in Swamp Palace.
Okay. That was a heart piece then. All right, I just saw a full refill. That's all.
Oh yeah, he must have gotten a heart piece and then the heart container right after that.
So, all right. Third is a small key.
So both of our guesses are in the Stalfos room coming up.
Four is 10 arrows. 5 is the big key.
We were close. We had the room right.
All right, so congratulations to me. The correct answer was 5, and my 6 paid. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Thalane finished with Misery Mire on his way to Palace of Darkness. Hunt for the big key, but he should finish the dungeon pretty quickly as well. Pretty interesting
Well-
strats. Just bombos to defeat all the enemies.
Yeah, you didn't even kill the last one. Just kind of just went off screen.
He jazz hands out of the room.
Like, I'm having none of this. There we go.
Yeah, Randomizer makes these rooms a little bit more fun, more interesting.
And then Miser's like a box of chocolates.
But overall, I think it's a good strategy. Just basically bombos all the rooms, get them out of the way.
All right, now what is going to be this boss? Because this could also be random.
I'm hoping for third Trinex.
That would.
Oh, vanilla.
Vanilla Lambo it is. Yeah, Butter Sword just cleaning them up.
That was a pretty tame hallway with the conveyor belts.
No, it's not tame.
This room.
Oh boy. That's just mean.
At least he had a blue potion. That's not that bad.
I mean, like, he could probably cape his way through as well. I don't know if that's what he's doing. Thalane setting up the hammer yump.
Interesting. We never saw it was over in this area.
All right, hurry up. No.
Yeah, this room seems really painful.
Yeah.
Low on magic.
Argel's in trouble here.
This is the kind of room you don't want to see it this late in the game. This is going to eat up. This, I think, is going to eat up a lot of time.
He might go bail out and buy potions. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
That's probably.
Or
I probably would have bought potions as well. I mean, I only have one bottle, but knowing that room is there, that's probably what I would do. But then again, I'm not good at this game, so I would need those.
maybe he's hoping to dig up a full magic. We'll have to see what Thalane does with this room.
Yeah, Thalane's going to get there relatively quickly. He's on his way to the boss of this dungeon, so he'll be on his way up to GT pretty soon. Nothing really helpful digging, so it looks like he's going to go somewhere else for a bit. Yeah, to the witch to buy something. Sounds like a sound play. Yeah, good use of money. Buy a green potion, use it, and then buy your blue potion after that.
So this is probably what Thalane needed in order to stay in this race.
Yeah, exactly. Thalane shouldn't have that much trouble with this boss, so he'll be climbing the mountain roughly the same time, but he'll still have to find the big key.
I'd say that's probably so the lamp room there, right? It's probably the first room that's really been nasty in this scene.
Yeah, the first room has been truly nasty. There's been a couple rooms that haven't been fun, but they've been relatively easy to get through. That's the first one they've actually had to really pay attention to. Like Palace of Darkness had the rollers in that first area, but you could time your way through that pretty easily. This is really hard to time. The worst thing is he has to go up Gauntlet again.
So hopefully Thalane will go left side.
Well, considering there's no key in the first two chests, I don't see anyone getting the torch key and then immediately going right again. Makes perfect sense to keep going left into Stalfos room.
So there is a safety room here. It looks like he is gonna skip it though. There is
Yeah.
some health.
Yeah, he could have gotten a fairy from there, but with how much trouble he had in that torch room, he probably feels he's further behind, or not further behind, but Thalane's catching up, rightly so. So he doesn't want to spend much more time than he needs to. And by trying to conserve magic, these rooms are taking longer than they did the first time he was through here. I wonder if that was too early or if that was just in time. Oh no, that was in time. Deciding to use arrows this time on Lenmo. So he seems to have a decent amount of magic. He should be fine for the torch room this time.
Does Thalane still have his... Yeah, he still has his blue potion.
Okay, coming back up to this torch room again. Let's see how well he does this time through. At least they've been getting lucky with anti-fairies through GT.
And I think he's good.
Yep, he's good this time. And one more spike trap, just in case.
No! Alright, that scared me for a second, that wall master. Getting grabbed would not have been fun.
No, having to do the climb again would not have been fun at all. And one more Helmosaur for the road.
This is probably actually one of the worst places to have a Helmosaur.
Yeah, the area is pretty small to walk around.
Alright.
So we had one mystery boss, which was Tower of Hera, but otherwise we had no Argus and no Moldorm. Not too bad. Oh, and no Mothula either. Or Vitreous. These enemies were pretty nice to them.
Yeah, and the two Trinexes that did show up, they were plenty and well equipped for him. So, alright, Thalane, how are you going to handle this room? Alright, yeah, he's reaching for the cape. There's a double on Aga 1.
And thalane cleared it first try. Handled it much better. Ooh, that was a nice trigger on the spike before going down.
That glitched out bat.
And time for the Ganon fight. Let's see how well he does with Butter Sword and Silver Arrows and Half Magic.
Alright, yeah, he's already in phase 3.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd have much trouble with this fight. Thalane seeing what the last item was, just 3 bombs. Ooh, setting up for a nice hit. Double, but then gets the 4th shot here. So as long as he can walk over this small gap, Argyle should win this match and put the win record between the 2 runners as 1-1.
Alright. And argelxd finished this race in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 9 seconds.
With Thalane not far behind, just finishing Aga 2 right now. Yeah, with this loss, Thalane is now 5-1 so far with a record of his 15 matches. Argyle is 2-2, so he's not doing too bad through the run. He still has a lot of games to play. They do 15 total within their group.
And we are joined in here in chat with argelxd. How are you doing tonight?
And Thalane gets the last hit in on Ganon. Again, as long as he can clear this small gap, he should finish in a respectable time.
And Thalane has finished this race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, 19 seconds.
Hello?
Okay, now we can hear you.
Okay.
GG.
We're also
Thanks,
joined by
thanks.
Thalane.
Hello,
Hey.
Thalane.
Hey, GG Argel.
GG. GG. I can't believe how lucky I have been through this seed. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think the Moji pick kind of worked out because I got like Randomizer on top of Death Mountain, so I missed out on the hammer for like an eternity, and it took me a while to come back. I think that's like probably the main thing that like took us apart, I guess.
Yeah, that played a really big part in it. Because as soon as Argel had the hammer, he went to Hype Cave, got the mitts, got the mirror right after. He was just finding the items he needed one after the other right out pretty quickly, so he could just basically go and finish the dungeons he needed to do really quick.
Even my double death in Thieves Town ended up being fine because there was nothing left there.
Yeah, there was nothing of use left in Thieves Town, so even with those 2 deaths, there wasn't much issue with that time loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I died once in Thieves Town, but then I returned later on when I had the hammer to make like a nice road towards like the Smiths and K45, Bombo's tablet, and then into Swamp. And I felt like I had like mixed feelings throughout the run. It was like at first it kind of felt super bad because like nothing seemed to work out, and then I died in like Eastern Palace. Although I kind of should have gone towards the boss and not like to the right side. But yeah, questionable if I could have. Oh no, that was Amos, wasn't it? So yeah, I should have gone towards the boss for that one, and yeah, but then having the ice rod for desert on the other hand was like felt kind of okayish, I guess. And yeah, the hammer obviously felt not so nice, and yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a roller coaster for me.
So
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
I thought about not doing the Desert Palace boss, but then I felt like, oh, Thalane is a better player than me, so I better make some gambles if I want to win this game.
Yeah, you made the right gambles too, because obviously with the Moon Pearl being locked behind Sahasrahla, that was very much needed to do.
Yeah, definitely gamble after gamble have been paying off today.
So Argel, one person in chat was wondering your decision to wait on Eastern Palace, even though you had, I believe you had Master Sword and Lamp going into it. You could have technically cleared it right off the bat,
Yeah.
but you decided to wait.
For some reason, I thought, well, I don't have the ball, so I'll just save and quit. I just forgot. It was Randomizer at that time. Muscle memory.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
I mean, it ended up not costing you a lot of time because when you did go back, you had the bow and you could defeat the boss a lot faster because it was vanilla. But
yeah,
it was interesting when we were watching it because we realized, yeah, this is Randomizer. At least see what the boss is. But
yeah, I was like, oh my god, when I found out. I just thought about it when I was going to desert. Oh my god, I could have checked the boss in Eastern, but then was too late.
And then I'm guessing you also forgot initially about that hint for the purple chest.
Yeah,
Because
I did.
you dragged it along with you for a little bit.
I was like in the middle of the way. I thought like, oh my god, why am I carrying this? I can run.
So, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Ganon's Tower. So there was one particular room. I think it had torches in it. So,
Yeah, that's you.
got any thoughts about that? Thalane, you can also chip in on this.
On GT?
Yeah, where the giant spike trap was at.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too bad. Like the first time I tried to like go around, like sneak around it, but that didn't work out. And then, like happily, we had the cape. Otherwise, I'm not too sure how that should have worked. Maybe like damage boost with a bomb or something. I don't know.
Yeah, in fact, it was not that hard, but for some reason I just couldn't do it at the first time. Then while I was going to the witch to get a refill, I just felt like, oh my god, there's a simple way to do it. I am so stupid.
I'm pretty sure it's just the nerves thinking you may be behind, or Thalane's right behind you. You want to get this done pretty quick, and that was just making you rush a bit too much. You ended up doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I was a little bit nervous.
It did make the ending a bit more interesting because with going back to the witch and then having to reclimb, that let Thalane catch up a lot. So you're both in GT at the same time. Thalane was not too far behind you, but you still managed to hold your lead.
Yeah, thankfully.
So you don't have to answer this question, but have you both thought about maybe what your vetoes may be for your game 3?
If I can go first, it's probably gonna be like defeat Ganon or something, just to make the seat like longer, more execution heavy, because I think that should work out in my favor.
As the higher seed, you get to pick who vetoes first.
Yeah, I know. No, I meant like answering first in this right now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, like I said, you don't have to answer because there could be some strategy in this, but.
Yeah, I will definitely veto inverted because I have not practiced that much yet.
It sounds like an interesting vetoes to do then, and it sounds like it could be a fun race.
Yeah, just hope it doesn't roll retro, because I would need to sit down and actually go and learn it.
Yeah, I hope it too.
Maybe that's like equally bad for both of us, so maybe retro is like a good choice. I don't know. We'll see what the mod gives us.
Well, you could always plan your schedule ahead of time to make sure that if it does roll something you're not familiar with, you have time to practice.
Yeah, definitely. If it's retro, I'll need some weeks to practice, I guess.
That's fair. Me too, I guess.
So what did you guys think of the bosses that you had to face?
The double Trinex was surprisingly not that hard, but could have been terrible.
I think the bosses were pretty fine, because you had like Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Hookshot like quite early, so no matter what, and Tempered Sword as well, so no matter what boss is like coming up, it's like doable, right? And yeah, so that I wasn't really worried about it. So the only thing that was like not so nice seeing probably was that blind in Skullwoods, because with the floor moving and all the heads, and like I think it was like pretty much impossible to hit him at the top, so I just waited like infinite amounts of time until he went to the bottom.
Yeah, definitely was very hard. I used the King of Samaria.
Yeah, I didn't have it at that time, so I had to wait until he goes down, and that was yeah, time consuming.
Yeah, that seemed like the worst boss room sorry, that seems like the worst boss to be in that room. You can't do your proper setup for the quick kill.
I think pretty much any boss in that room is like kind of annoying with the floor moving. Like I had Argus the other day, and that wasn't nice either, because it was like swordless on top, so yeah. I think Mothula actually is probably the best boss you can face in there. Or maybe Moldom, I think he bugs out.
I would think
Mothula
that
is great because you're used to. Sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
No, that's what I wanted to say.
I was gonna say I think that Armos probably wouldn't be too bad in that room either. The floor moving probably doesn't hurt that much against that boss.
Almost.
But yeah, I think the Randomizer in general in this team was kind of like average. Just these like bomber guys on top of Death Mountain, because they kind of ruined the game for me. And I don't know, I picked up that fairy and it like as my hearts were refilling, I got hit by that bomb, so I died and then I bailed out on Spiral Cave. I thought about going back, but I don't know, it just didn't seem worth it for me because it was like one chest compared. I don't know what I had left. Like I think like the desert boss, or like one item in desert, green pendant, and like 2 items in Eastern Palace. So I didn't think it was like worth it.
Yeah, it just turns out it was actually worth it. I mean, you made it work going through Aga 1 and then clockwise around Dark World anyways. So any final thoughts before we close this out?
No, just GG again to you, Argel, and thank you guys for commentating. Thank you guys also for like restreaming a lot of matches. I notice you guys are like super involved with that. And thanks B-Links for tracking. And yeah, that's it from my side.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the staff of the tournament and you guys for doing this restream. Thank you so much.
Well, it looks like that's going to be it for this. If you want to catch more Link to the Past Randomizer, we have a match that started at 9:30 on Speed Gaming, Swerve versus SAGTG, which is again an open randomized hard retro, so that should be pretty fun. And then on this channel at 10:30, so basically in about an hour, we've got Firewood versus Chex Human, again an open randomized normal with no variation. So a pretty standard vanilla type seed. I think that'll be it for us. GG again, Thalane and Argel, and GG to Sinek. It was very fun commentating with you, and thank you, B-Links, for all the great help for tracking.
Oh, and I've been looking forward to commentating with you as well, so it's my pleasure.
And I think that'll be it for us. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.